In the vast expanse of the Galactic War Council chamber, an atmosphere of tension and anticipation filled the air. Alien generals and high-ranking officers from across the galaxy had gathered to witness the arrival of a new soldier. Among them was General Korath, known for his immense pride and scornful attitude toward lesser species. His reputation for mockery and disdain was well-earned and widely feared. As the heavy doors of the chamber creaked open, the crowd fell silent. In walked a soldier who seemed out of place in this imposing setting. Dressed in simple, worn armor, he appeared frail and unimpressive compared to the grand alien generals surrounding him. His name was Sergeant Leo, but to the assembled aliens he was simply the weak soldier from a conquered world. General Korath's sharp eyes narrowed as he took in the sight of Leo. A smirk spread across his face, and he leaned forward, eager to make an example of this newcomer. The general stood tall, his many medals and battle scars gleaming under the chamber's lights, a stark contrast to Leo's plain appearance. "Look at this," Korath boomed, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Is this the best your planet could send? A scrawny, unworthy soldier, barely fit for duty?" The general's laughter rang out, and his officers joined in, their derisive chuckles adding to the mockery. Leo kept his gaze fixed straight ahead, ignoring the jeers and laughter. His expression remained calm and composed, but inside he felt the sting of the general's words. He knew that his true strength was yet to be revealed, and he was determined to prove himself. The general's mockery was relentless. He pointed at Leo, describing him as a pitiful display of weakness. "Does he even know how to hold a weapon?" Korath sneered. "Or will he need help from our finest warriors just to get through a basic training exercise?" The general's words were calculated to humiliate, and he reveled in the discomfort he was causing. Despite the ridicule, Leo's resolve hardened. He had faced countless challenges before, and this was just another test. His past was filled with trials that had shaped him into a formidable soldier, though his true skills were hidden beneath the surface. He had trained for this moment, and he knew that his actions would speak louder than the general's insults. As the mocking continued, a few alien officers exchanged curious glances. They had heard rumors about the soldier's origins, but had yet to see any evidence of his worth. They watched with interest, wondering if there was more to Leo than the general's scornful remarks suggested. The chamber's atmosphere was charged with anticipation as the general's tirade showed no sign of letting up. Yet in the midst of the ridicule, Leo stood resolute. The derision he faced would not define him. Instead, it would fuel his determination to rise above the expectations and prove that he was far more than the general's insults suggested. The mocking continued, but the seeds of doubt were planted. As the general's laughter echoed in the chamber, the soldiers and officers began to whisper among themselves. They were intrigued by the soldier's calm demeanor and began to wonder if there was indeed something special about him that had not yet been revealed. This was only the beginning. The true test of Leo's strength was yet to come, and the general's mockery would soon be met with a revelation that would change the course of their perceptions. For now, Leo stood silently, waiting for his moment to prove that he was anything but weak. In the days following the mocking, Sergeant Leo's life at the alien military base took on a new rhythm. His tasks were simple but challenging, designed to test his endurance and ability. The alien officers, though skeptical, were curious to see what this supposedly weak soldier could do. They watched him closely, eager to see if he would falter under the pressure. Leo's first assignment was to carry out a series of grueling physical tasks. He was tasked with moving heavy crates across the base, a job usually reserved for the strongest of soldiers. To everyone's surprise, Leo approached each task with a steady and focused demeanor. The crates, though bulky and cumbersome, were lifted and transported with an ease that belied his frail appearance. The officers and soldiers around him began to murmur amongst themselves. "Look at him go," one officer remarked, eyebrows raised in disbelief. "He's moving those crates faster than we expected." Another officer nodded, clearly impressed. "Maybe there's more to this soldier than we thought." Leo continued his tasks with quiet determination. He moved swiftly and efficiently, never breaking a sweat. His movements were precise, and he seemed to have an almost natural understanding of how to handle the equipment. He didn't waste any energy and completed each job with remarkable skill. It became clear that he had a level of training and discipline that was far beyond what they had anticipated. The next test was a series of strategic simulations designed to assess tactical skills. The soldiers and officers were put through scenarios where they had to make quick decisions and plan complex strategies. Leo was placed in the middle of these exercises, and once again, he exceeded expectations. During the simulations, Leo demonstrated a keen understanding of tactics. He quickly grasped the objectives and devised effective strategies to achieve them. His solutions were innovative and showed a deep understanding of military tactics. He anticipated moves from his simulated opponents with impressive accuracy and used clever maneuvers to outwit them. The alien officers were astonished. They had expected the soldier to struggle, but instead, he was proving himself to be a master strategist. "How is he doing this?" one officer asked, clearly bewildered. "He's making all the right moves. It's like he's been trained in this for years." As the simulations progressed, Leo's performance only grew stronger. He coordinated with other soldiers flawlessly, and his leadership skills began to shine through. He inspired confidence in those around him, and his ability to remain calm under pressure further impressed the alien officers. Word of Leo's surprising skills spread quickly through the base. The general, who had initially dismissed him as weak, found himself increasingly intrigued. The general began to notice the whispers of admiration and saw the soldiers' impressive results firsthand. Though still reluctant to fully admit it, the general's attitude was slowly beginning to shift. Leo's skills were undeniable. He had shown that he was not just a soldier but a highly capable and skilled warrior. The base's personnel, who had once mocked him, now looked at him with a newfound respect. The soldier's surprising abilities had planted the seeds of doubt about the general's earlier mockery. With each task and simulation, Leo was proving that he was much more than the general's derisive remarks had suggested. His quiet strength and skill were starting to change perceptions, setting the stage for a much greater revelation to come. The alien military base buzzed with anticipation as news of a new challenge spread among the troops. General Korath, known for his pride and unyielding belief in his superiority, had issued a public challenge. He wanted to test Sergeant Leo's abilities in a combat arena, a test that promised to be both brutal and revealing. The combat arena was a grand structure, built for high-stakes battles. It was a circular space with walls reinforced to withstand intense clashes. Bright lights illuminated the arena, casting harsh shadows that made the space feel even more imposing. Spectators from all corners of the base gathered to watch the event, eager to see how the weak soldier would fare against the mighty general. Sergeant Leo entered the arena with a calm and steady demeanor. His uniform, now polished and adjusted, contrasted sharply with the high-tech, sleek armor of General Korath. The general stood confidently at the center of the arena, his imposing figure and intimidating weapon making him look nearly invincible. As the match began, the general wasted no time. He lunged at Leo with a powerful strike, his weapon slicing through the air with deadly precision. Leo, though appearing less imposing, moved with surprising agility. He dodged the general's initial attack with a deft sidestep, narrowly avoiding the weapon's sharp edge. The crowd gasped in shock. They had expected Leo to be overpowered immediately, but he was holding his own. The general's strikes were powerful and relentless, but Leo's movements were fluid and precise. He responded with quick, calculated counters, using the general's momentum against him. The general's frustration grew as he realized that Leo was not an easy target. His attacks became more aggressive and desperate, but Leo remained calm. He was not just defending himself, he was studying the general's techniques and looking for weaknesses. Each move he made was deliberate, aimed at exploiting openings in the general's defense. With a sudden, surprising maneuver, Leo managed to disarm General Korath. The crowd erupted in disbelief. The general, who had been mocking Leo only days before, now found himself vulnerable. The general's face reddened with a mix of anger and surprise. He had underestimated this soldier's capabilities and was now facing the consequences. The match was far from over, though. The general, enraged, recovered quickly and launched into a new attack. This time, Leo, despite being pushed to his limits, never faltered. He adapted to the general's tactics and used his own skills to keep the fight balanced. His movements were a blend of agility and strategy, demonstrating a deep understanding of combat that went beyond mere physical strength. As the combat reached its climax, Leo executed a flawless counterattack that left General Korath disarmed and on the defensive. The general's pride was shattered, and he struggled to regain his composure. The crowd, once skeptical, now watched in stunned silence. They had witnessed a transformation, from mockery to genuine respect. The match ended with Leo standing tall, his composure intact. The general, though still proud, could no longer deny the soldier's skill and determination. The challenge had proven to be a pivotal moment, changing the way everyone perceived Sergeant Leo and setting the stage for a deeper understanding of his true strength. The combat arena had gone silent. The audience, still stunned by Sergeant Leo's performance, could hardly believe their eyes. General Korath, though trying to maintain his composure, was visibly shaken. He had underestimated Leo, and the results were undeniable. It was time for the truth to come to light. Later that evening, the base's command center buzzed with activity. The general, accompanied by his closest advisors, paced back and forth in frustration. His earlier arrogance had been replaced by a storm of confusion and curiosity. He needed to understand who this soldier truly was and why Leo had defied his expectations. In a private briefing room, Leo sat calmly at a table. The room was dimly lit, and the walls were lined with holographic displays showing various battle strategies and historical records. General Korath entered with a stern expression, flanked by his advisors. The general's pride had been bruised, and he sought answers. "Sergeant Leo," Korath began, his voice stern but tinged with a hint of respect. "You have proven yourself to be quite the fighter, but I need to know more about you. What is your background? Where did you come from?" Leo looked up, meeting the general's gaze with steady eyes. "General, I come from Earth," he said simply. "I am a human soldier, trained in combat and tactics." The general's eyes widened slightly. "Human? I thought humans were primitive, lacking in advanced skills and technology." Leo shook his head. "That is a misconception. Humans have a long history of warfare and strategy. Our abilities are honed through years of training and experience. We may not always appear impressive, but we are capable of great things." Korath's advisors exchanged puzzled looks. They had heard stories about humanity but had always dismissed them as exaggerations. The revelation that Leo was a human was unexpected and challenging to their preconceived notions. "Why did you come here?" Korath asked, his voice softer now. "What is the purpose of your mission?" Leo took a deep breath. "I was sent to represent humanity in this galaxy. Our goal is to show that we are more than just the sum of our stereotypes. We are capable of working alongside other species and contributing to the greater good." The general nodded slowly, processing the information. "You have certainly made an impression," he admitted. "I must confess, I underestimated you and your people. Your skills are remarkable, and your determination is evident." Leo's demeanor remained calm, but a flicker of satisfaction crossed his face. "Thank you, General. We have faced many challenges, and we continue to prove ourselves. Our abilities and strengths may not always be obvious, but we are resilient and resourceful." The briefing continued, with Leo explaining more about human history and the qualities that made them formidable warriors. The general listened intently, his earlier doubts slowly being replaced by a genuine respect for the soldier and his people. By the end of the meeting, General Korath's attitude had shifted. He no longer saw Leo as a weak soldier, but as a representative of a species with valuable skills and potential. The revelation of Leo's true identity had opened the general's eyes to the depth and complexity of humanity. As Leo left the command center, he felt a sense of accomplishment. He had not only proven his own worth, but had also begun to change the way others viewed his species. The truth was out, and it had set the stage for a new understanding between humans and the alien forces. The next morning, the atmosphere at the alien military base was electric. Word of Sergeant Leo's surprising victory and his true identity as a human had spread like wildfire. The base, once abuzz with skepticism, was now filled with a sense of awe and curiosity. General Korath, still grappling with the revelation, was about to experience a shock that would further reshape his views. General Korath had been busy in his private quarters, reviewing the footage of Leo's combat performance and listening to reports from his officers. Despite his earlier admission of respect, he still struggled to fully accept the implications of Leo's skills and background. He was determined to understand more about the humans and their capabilities. In the briefing room, Korath's officers and advisors gathered for a special meeting. The general's mood was tense. He wanted answers and further proof of what he had seen. The meeting was about to begin when an urgent message arrived from the outer sectors of the base. The message was brief but alarming. An unknown, highly advanced spacecraft had appeared on their radar, and it was heading straight for the base. The general's eyes narrowed with suspicion. "Prepare the base defenses," he ordered. "We need to be ready for anything." The officers scrambled to their posts, and the base was put on high alert. The general, accompanied by his top advisors, went to the command center to oversee the situation. The radar screens showed the spacecraft approaching rapidly. It was unlike anything they had seen before, sleek, with a design that suggested advanced technology and powerful weaponry. As the spacecraft drew closer, the general's anxiety grew. He had never seen a ship of this caliber, and its sudden appearance was troubling. The general and his team prepared for a possible confrontation, their anticipation palpable. The spacecraft eventually landed in a designated area, and a small group of beings emerged. They were clad in dark, high-tech armor and moved with an air of authority. The leader of this group stepped forward, and it quickly became clear that they were not ordinary visitors. They were elite warriors, and their presence commanded respect. General Korath, along with his advisors, went to meet them. To his shock, the leader of the group removed their helmet, revealing a face that was both familiar and startling. The leader was another human, but dressed in advanced armor and exuding an aura of immense power and competence. The human leader spoke with a calm and commanding voice. "General Korath, I am Commander Rachel, and I represent the Terran Space Fleet. We were informed of the situation and came to assess the matter personally." Korath's eyes widened in disbelief. "The Terran Space Fleet? I thought your people were primitive." Rachel's gaze was steady. That was the old perception. "Our technology and military capabilities have advanced significantly. We are here to ensure that our representative, Sergeant Leo, is treated with the respect he deserves and to offer any assistance if needed." The general's shock was palpable. He had just come to grips with Leo's skills, and now he was confronted with the reality of an entire fleet of advanced human technology. The Terran Space Fleet's sudden appearance and their advanced gear contradicted everything Korath had previously believed about humanity. The general struggled to find words. I had no idea. Your people are far more advanced than we anticipated." Rachel nodded. "Yes, and we are here to prove that humanity is a formidable force. The days of underestimating us are over." The general's perspective shifted dramatically. The appearance of Commander Rachel and the Terran Space Fleet confirmed that humanity was not only a capable species, but one that was now an integral player on the galactic stage. The shock of the situation left General Korath with a newfound respect and understanding of the strength and depth of the human people. As the meeting concluded, the general could only think of one thing. The world had changed, and humanity had just shown that they were a force to be reckoned with. With the arrival of Commander Rachel and the Terran Space Fleet, the atmosphere at the alien military base shifted dramatically. The once skeptical and dismissive attitude towards humanity was replaced by a cautious but genuine curiosity. General Korath, now fully aware of the depth of human capabilities, saw an opportunity to forge new alliances. The general convened a series of meetings with his senior officers and key representatives from various alien factions. The goal was clear: to discuss the implications of the Terran Space Fleet's presence and to explore the possibility of forming an alliance with humanity. The general understood that their newfound respect for Sergeant Leo and the advanced technology of the Terran fleet could lead to valuable partnerships. In a grand conference room within the base, representatives from different alien species gathered. The room was filled with a diverse group of beings, each with their own distinct appearance and cultural dress. The atmosphere was tense as everyone was eager to hear the general's address. General Korath began the meeting with a tone of formality and respect. "Esteemed representatives, we are gathered here today to discuss an important development. The arrival of the Terran Space Fleet has demonstrated the advanced capabilities of humanity. Sergeant Leo's performance and the fleet's technology have shown us that humans are far more capable than we previously understood." The room was abuzz with murmurs of surprise and interest. The alien representatives exchanged glances, their skepticism beginning to fade. The general continued, outlining the potential benefits of forming an alliance with the Terran space fleet. He spoke about shared interests, mutual protection, and the advantages of combining their respective strengths. Commander Rachel, standing beside General Korath, took the floor to address the gathering. "Thank you, General Korath. I am honored to speak with you all. Humanity's goal is to foster cooperation and understanding among the different species in this galaxy. We are not here to dominate, but to collaborate and contribute to the greater good." Rachel's words resonated with the representatives. Her confidence and the advanced technology of the Terran fleet left a strong impression. Many of the alien leaders began to see the potential benefits of working together. One of the alien representatives, a tall and dignified being from a species known for their diplomatic skills, stood to speak. "We have heard much about humanity's prowess, but seeing it firsthand has changed our perspective. We are open to exploring alliances with you. The strength of your fleet and the skills of your soldiers are impressive." Another representative, a member of a warrior race known for their combat expertise, nodded in agreement. "If Sergeant Leo is a reflection of your people's capabilities, then joining forces could be advantageous. We should discuss the terms of a potential alliance and how we can support each other." The general, Rachel, and the other representatives engaged in lively discussions, exploring various possibilities for cooperation. They talked about joint military exercises, shared technology, and strategies for mutual defense. The meeting concluded with a sense of optimism and a tentative agreement to move forward with formal negotiations. As the representatives left the conference room, the base was filled with a new energy. The idea of forming alliances with humanity was no longer a distant dream, but a tangible possibility. The shift from skepticism to cooperation marked a significant change in the dynamic of the galaxy. Sergeant Leo, observing the events from a distance, felt a sense of pride. His efforts and the arrival of the Terran space fleet had opened doors to new alliances and opportunities. The journey from being mocked to gaining powerful allies was a testament to the strength and resilience of humanity. As the discussions continued, it became clear that the future held promising possibilities. Humanity was not just a participant in the galactic community, but a key player in shaping its future. With the foundation of new alliances set, the galaxy's dynamics began to shift. The cooperation between General Korath, Commander Rachel, and the newly allied alien factions opened up new possibilities. However, the peace was short-lived as a pressing threat emerged. Reports of a powerful and hostile faction known as the Zarkon Empire began to circulate. This faction was known for its aggressive expansion and disregard for diplomacy. General Korath and Commander Rachel, along with their newly formed coalition, understood the urgency of the situation. The Zarkon Empire's forces were advancing towards key strategic locations, and if left unchecked, they could disrupt the fragile balance of power in the galaxy. The newly formed alliance had to act quickly to prevent a full-scale invasion. In a high-level strategy meeting, the general and the commander outlined a plan to counter the Zarkon threat. The meeting was held in a secure briefing room, where representatives from all allied factions gathered. The room was filled with holographic maps and tactical displays, showing the current positions of the Zarkon forces and the potential targets. General Korath addressed the assembly with a determined tone. "We have received intelligence that the Zarkon Empire is planning a major offensive. Their forces are well-equipped and ruthless. We must act swiftly and decisively to protect our territories and our people." Commander Rachel nodded in agreement. "Our objective is to launch a preemptive strike against the Zarkon Empire's main fleet. We will need to coordinate our efforts and combine our strengths to ensure a successful operation. This is not just about defense, it's about taking the initiative." The representatives listened intently as the details of the plan were laid out. The strategy involved a coordinated assault on the Zarkon Empire's flagship, which was believed to be the command center for their invasion. By neutralizing this key asset, the alliance hoped to disrupt the enemy's plans and buy time to fortify their defenses. As the plan was discussed, each faction offered their unique resources and expertise. The advanced technology of the Terran space fleet, the combat prowess of Korath's forces, and the tactical insights of the allied species would all be crucial in the upcoming mission. Sergeant Leo, now a key figure in the alliance, was assigned a critical role. His experience and combat skills would be vital in the operation. He was to lead a special task force designed to infiltrate the Zarkon flagship and gather intelligence on their command structure. The preparations for the mission were intense. Troops from all allied factions worked together to ready their ships and equipment. The energy in the base was a mix of tension and determination. Everyone knew the stakes were high, and the outcome of the mission could determine the future of the galaxy. As the Allied fleet prepared for departure, Commander Rachel approached Sergeant Leo. "This is a crucial mission, Leo. Your leadership and skills will be key to its success. We're counting on you." Leo nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I won't let you down, Commander. We're all in this together, and I believe we can make a difference." The Allied fleet launched towards the Zarkon Empire, their ships moving as one cohesive force. The mission was set to unfold, and the coalition's resolve was tested. The threat of the Zarkon Empire loomed large, but the combined strength of the new allies gave hope that they could overcome the challenge and secure a lasting peace for the galaxy. The Allied fleet, a formidable assembly of ships from various factions, surged through space toward the Zarkon Empire's stronghold. The mission was to strike at the heart of the enemy's command, and the stakes were higher than ever. Every ship and soldier was prepared for the confrontation that lay ahead. The vast expanse of space stretched before them, and the tension was palpable. As the fleet approached the Zarkon flagship, the enemy forces were already on high alert. The Zarkon Empire had fortified their defenses, expecting an attack, but they were not fully prepared for the combined might of the new alliance. General Korath and Commander Rachel were at the command center, coordinating the assault with precision. "Prepare to engage," General Korath ordered, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "We need to breach their defenses and make our way to the flagship." The Allied fleet launched their attack, and the space around the Zarkon flagship erupted into chaos. Laser fire and missiles streaked through the void, illuminating the dark expanse. The Allied ships moved with synchronized precision, their combined firepower pushing through the enemy's defenses. Inside the flagship, Sergeant Leo led his special task force through the chaotic corridors. Their mission was to infiltrate the command center and gather crucial intelligence. The Zarkon forces, caught off guard by the coordinated assault, struggled to mount an effective defense. Leo and his team navigated the corridors, encountering fierce resistance from the Zarkon soldiers. But their training and determination saw them through. They fought their way to the command center, where they found a central control hub teeming with Zarkon officers. The task force engaged in a tense battle with the Zarkon command. Leo's leadership and combat skills shone brightly. His team, working in unison, overwhelmed the enemy, securing the control hub. With the command center under their control, they quickly began downloading crucial data that would reveal the Zarkon Empire's plans and command structure. Outside, the battle raged on. The Allied fleet, under the relentless assault of their combined forces, had managed to break through the Zarkon defenses. The flagship, heavily damaged, was on the brink of being overwhelmed. General Korath, observing the battle from his command ship, felt a surge of pride and relief. The combined strength of the alliance was proving effective, and victory was within reach. The Zarkon flagship, now crippled and unable to continue the fight, began to retreat. As the last of the Zarkon forces withdrew, the Allied fleet regrouped. The battle had been hard fought, but the victory was undeniable. The Zarkon Empire's command center was in ruins, and their plans had been thwarted. Back on the flagship, Sergeant Leo and his team completed their mission, delivering the gathered intelligence to Commander Rachel. The data was invaluable and would provide significant strategic advantages in future engagements. With the battle won, the Allied fleet returned to their base, where they were met with cheers and celebrations. The victory was not just a military triumph, but a testament to the strength of their new alliances. The once disparate factions had come together to overcome a formidable threat. General Korath, acknowledging the importance of the alliance, addressed the assembled forces. "Today, we have proven that our unity and cooperation can achieve great things. The bravery and skill of our allies, especially the humans, have shown us the power of working together." Commander Rachel and Sergeant Leo stood beside him, their faces reflecting the pride and respect earned through their efforts. The respect that had initially been grudging was now genuine and deep. The victory had solidified the alliance, and set a new standard for cooperation in the galaxy. The celebration marked the beginning of a new era. The victory over the Zarkon Empire had not only ensured peace, but had also cemented the respect and camaraderie among the allied factions. The galaxy was a step closer to unity, and the new alliances promised a future of strength and cooperation. With the defeat of the Zarkon Empire and the victory celebrated across the galaxy, a new chapter began for the allied factions. The base, once a place of tension and skepticism, had become a symbol of unity and strength. The newly formed coalition was not only a military alliance, but a testament to the power of cooperation among diverse species. General Korath and Commander Rachel stood together on the balcony of the command center, overlooking the bustling activity below. The base was alive with preparations for the future. Troops were being reassigned, new technologies were being integrated, and diplomatic meetings were taking place. The atmosphere was filled with a sense of optimism and anticipation. "Look at this," Korath said, a rare smile on his face. "The base has become a hub of activity and hope. It's a new era for all of us." Rachel nodded, her gaze sweeping over the scene. "It's amazing what we can achieve when we work together. The victory over the Zarkons has shown us that our combined efforts can make a difference." The two leaders were interrupted by a message from the newly established Coalition Council. The council had been formed to oversee the ongoing cooperation between the allied factions and to address any issues that might arise. In the council chambers, representatives from each allied species gathered for the first official meeting. The room was filled with a sense of purpose as the representatives discussed plans for the future. The agenda included sharing technology, establishing joint defense protocols, and continuing diplomatic efforts to strengthen their bonds. Sergeant Leo, now a respected member of the coalition, was also present. His role had evolved from a soldier to a symbol of human bravery and skill. He was invited to speak before the council, and the room fell silent as he began. "I want to thank each of you for the support and trust you've shown us," Leo said, his voice steady. "This alliance has proven that together we are stronger. The fight against the Zarkons was just the beginning. We have the opportunity to build something lasting and meaningful." The council members listened intently, their expressions reflecting respect and agreement. Leo's words resonated with them, reinforcing the commitment to the alliance and the shared goals of peace and cooperation. As the meeting concluded, the representatives made plans for joint projects and continued collaboration. The sense of unity was palpable, and everyone was eager to contribute to the success of the alliance. Back at the base, the Allied forces began to focus on reconstruction and development. The damaged areas were being repaired, and new facilities were being constructed to accommodate the growing needs of the coalition. The base was transforming into a center of innovation and collaboration. General Korath and Commander Rachel continued to work closely, ensuring that the alliance remained strong and effective. Their leadership and vision were crucial in guiding the coalition toward a prosperous future. The galaxy, once divided by conflict and suspicion, was now moving toward a new era of cooperation. The defeat of the Zarkons had demonstrated the strength of unity, and the formation of the alliance promised a future where different species could work together for the common good. As the sun set over the base, casting a warm glow over the bustling activities, it was clear that the victory had marked the beginning of something new and exciting. The Allied factions, having faced a common threat and emerged victorious, were now poised to create a future of peace and collaboration. The story of their triumph and the new beginning was one that would be remembered for generations. It was a testament to the power of working together, and the promise of a brighter, more unified galaxy lay ahead.